The Sentinel's discovery. The vast emptiness of space stretched endlessly in all directions, a canvas of darkness punctuated by distant stars. Through this void glided the Sentinel, a sleek patrol vessel of the Galactic Alliance. Its polished hull gleamed under the light of a nearby binary star system, the smooth curves and elegant design typical of Nexari craftsmanship. Inside, Commander Threll adjusted his multi-jointed limbs in the captain's chair, his pale blue skin reflecting the soft glow of the control panels. "Status report," Threll demanded, his 4 eyes blinking in sequence as he studied the holographic display before him. "All systems nominal," Commander reported his second-in-command, a Vorn named Casca, whose insectoid features remained perfectly still as she spoke. "We're approaching the outer boundary of Sector 87. Nothing unusual to report." Sector 87 was unremarkable, a collection of uninhabited star systems along the edge of Alliance space. The patrol was routine, meant to deter smugglers and pirates rather than to discover anything of significance. For 3 standard cycles, the Sentinel had traversed the same route without incident. Today would prove different. "Commander," called the sensor operator, a crystalline Lumi whose body pulsed with light as he spoke. "I'm detecting an anomalous energy signature at coordinates 37 to 9215. It doesn't match any known Alliance vessel." Threll leaned forward. "Pirates. Signature is too sophisticated, sir. And it's unusual. I've never seen anything quite like it. Put it on the main display." The hologram shifted, revealing a distant object moving through space. As the sensors focused, the image clarified. A vessel of unfamiliar design, all sharp angles and reinforced plates, utilitarian rather than aesthetic. It was roughly half the size of the Sentinel, but something about its configuration suggested it carried significant firepower. "Magnify," ordered Threll. The image zoomed in, revealing markings on the hull. Casca gasped, her mandibles clicking rapidly. "That's impossible," she whispered. "Those are human markings." A chill spread through the command deck. Everyone knew about humans, the quarantined species, confined to their home system nearly 50 cycles ago due to their unpredictable and potentially dangerous nature. No human ship had been permitted beyond their solar system since the containment protocols were enacted. "Confirmed, Commander," said the sensor operator. "The vessel appears to be of human origin." Threll's skin darkened with concern. How did they get this far into Alliance space without detection? And more importantly, how did they break the containment barrier? "Unknown, sir, but they're heading directly for the Epsilon corridor, the main trade route." "Open a communication channel," Threll ordered, "and alert Alliance Command immediately." On the other side of the encounter, Captain Ilara Chen stood on the bridge of the UES Defiance, a prototype warship representing the pinnacle of human ingenuity and determination. Her dark hair was pulled back in a tight bun, and her expression remained carefully neutral as she studied the alien vessel that had just appeared on their sensors. "Looks like we've been spotted, Captain," said Lieutenant Commander Marcus Riley, her tactical officer. "The Nexari patrol ship is scanning us." "Was bound to happen eventually," Chen replied calmly. "We knew the risk when we launched this mission." "Status of our stealth systems." "Partially compromised. They caught us during recalibration, but they still can't detect our full capabilities." Chen nodded, her mind racing through the implications. 50 years ago, humanity had reached for the stars, only to be judged too dangerous by the Galactic Alliance, a coalition of 17 spacefaring species who had decided that humans evolved too quickly, adapted too readily, and posed too great a threat to galactic stability. The quarantine had been swift and absolute, a blockade of advanced alien warships surrounding Earth's solar system, cutting off humanity from the greater galaxy. But humans had never been good at accepting limitations. "They're hailing us, Captain," announced Communications Officer Patel. "On screen," Chen ordered, straightening her uniform. The view screen flickered to life, revealing Commander Threll's alien features. His 4 eyes widened slightly at the sight of a human. Unidentified human vessel. Threll began, his translator converting his clicks and whistles into English. You are in violation of Galactic Alliance Directive 773, the Earth Containment Protocol. Power down your systems and prepare to be boarded. Any resistance will be met with lethal force. Chen smiled politely. This is Captain Ilara Chen of the United Earth Ship Defiance. We're aware of your containment protocol, Commander. We simply chose to ignore it. The alien commander's skin flushed a deeper blue. That's not possible. The blockade is impressive, Chen interrupted, but ultimately flawed. Perhaps you shouldn't have left us alone for 50 years with nothing to do but advance our technology and plan our emergence. In truth, the Defiance represented a quantum leap in human engineering. A vessel built with reverse-engineered alien technology gathered from ships that had crashed on Earth before the containment. Its hull contained metamaterials that could absorb scanner waves. Its engines utilized principles of gravity manipulation that the Alliance believed humans were centuries from discovering, and its weapon systems. Those remain to be revealed. Your presence here endangers the stability of the Alliance, Threll insisted. The containment protocol exists for a reason. And what reason is that? Chen challenged. That we advance too quickly. That we adapt too readily. That we refuse to know our place. The bridge fell silent as the two captains stared at each other across the void, representatives of two fundamentally different approaches to galactic civilization. You will return to your system immediately, Threll finally stated, or we will be forced to take action. Chen leaned forward slightly. I'm afraid that's not possible, Commander. We've come too far to turn back now. The Defiance carries a message from Earth to the Alliance Council, and we intend to deliver it. Then you leave us no choice, Threll responded, his tone hardening. Stand down or be destroyed. Behind Chen, tactical displays showed the Sentinel powering up its weapon systems. The alien vessel was formidable, a third-generation Alliance patrol ship equipped with particle beams and gravitational disruptors. Against most opponents, it would be overwhelming. The Defiance was not most opponents. Final warning, human, Threll said. Power down your systems. Chen glanced at her tactical officer, who gave a subtle nod. Their systems were ready. I have a counter-proposal, Chen replied. You escort us to the nearest Alliance outpost, where we can transmit our message to the Council. No one needs to be heard today. Impossible. The protocol is absolute. Then perhaps it's time for the protocol to change, Chen said. Because as you're about to discover, Commander, humanity is no longer content to remain in its cage. The tension on both bridges was palpable. Lieutenant Riley whispered, Captain, 3 more Alliance signatures just appeared on long-range sensors. They're moving fast, likely reinforcements. Chen nodded imperceptibly. This was always the risk, that their first encounter would escalate into conflict. The Defiance could handle a single patrol vessel, but 3 additional ships would complicate matters significantly. What's it going to be, Commander? Chen asked. A peaceful escort, or something neither of us wants. On his bridge, Threll received the alert about incoming Alliance vessels. Superior numbers would soon be on his side. His training told him to stall, to keep the humans talking until reinforcements arrived. But something about the human captain's confidence disturbed him. If they had indeed broken through the containment barrier, what else might they be capable of? You have 10 minutes to power down your systems, Threll stated firmly. When our reinforcements arrive, you will be boarded and your vessel impounded. That is your only option. Chen's expression didn't change, but something in her eyes hardened. I was hoping for diplomacy, Commander, but it seems the Alliance hasn't changed in 50 years. So be it. She signaled for the communication to be cut. The view screen returned to showing the Sentinel hovering against the backdrop of stars. They're charging weapons, Captain, Riley reported. Defensive protocols, Lieutenant, Chen ordered calmly. And prepare the cascade system. It seems we'll need to make a statement after all. As the Defiance's systems hummed to life, the crew worked with practiced efficiency. They had trained for this moment, the inevitable confrontation when humanity would announce its return to the galactic stage. The Sentinel fired first, a burst of energy that streaked toward the human vessel. What happened next would change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. Humanity unleashed. The Sentinel's particle beam streaked across space, a brilliant lance of energy that should have crippled the human vessel's systems. Instead, the beam hit an invisible barrier surrounding the Defiance and scattered in all directions, dissipating harmlessly into the void. On the Sentinel's bridge, Commander Threll stared in disbelief. What happened? Unknown, sir, his tactical officer responded, mandibles clicking rapidly in agitation. Their shields, they're like nothing in our database. The energy was completely dispersed. Impossible, Threll muttered. Scan again. Find a weakness. Before his crew could comply, the communications officer interrupted. Commander, we're receiving a transmission from the human vessel. Captain Chen's face appeared on the view screen again, her expression calm despite the attack. That was unwise, Commander. Allow me to demonstrate why. The Defiance pivoted slightly, revealing a series of ports along its hull that had previously been concealed. From these openings emerged a swarm of small autonomous drones, each no larger than a human hand. They moved with incredible speed, surrounding the Sentinel in a complex formation. What are those? Casca demanded, rising from her station in alarm. As I said, Commander, Chen continued, humanity has been busy during our isolation. These are Cascade units, our answer to the technological gap between our civilizations. The drones began emitting a synchronized energy pattern that enveloped the Sentinel. Immediately, the Alliance vessel's systems flickered and power levels dropped dramatically. What's happening? Threll demanded as emergency lights activated on his bridge. They're harmonizing with our shield frequency, the tactical officer replied in amazement. Somehow draining our energy through constructive interference. It's elegant. Reroute power. Get weapons back online. Impossible, sir. They've established a feedback loop in our systems. On the Defiance, Shen watched the operation with grim satisfaction. The Cascade system was one of Earth's most closely guarded developments, a technology that used principles of quantum entanglement to synchronize with enemy systems and create energy-draining feedback loops. It was non-lethal but devastatingly effective. Captain, Alliance reinforcements will be in weapons range in 3 minutes, Riley reported. Understood. Open a channel to all approaching vessels. When the connection was established, Chen addressed not just Threll, but all Alliance commanders in the vicinity. This is Captain Chen of the UES Defiance. As you can see, we've neutralized your patrol vessel without destroying it or harming its crew. We can do the same to any vessel that approaches with hostile intent. She paused, allowing her words to sink in. We did not break our containment to start a war. We came to deliver a message, and we intend to complete that mission. The choice is yours. Escort us peacefully, or face the consequences. A new voice cut into the communication. Deeper, more resonant, belonging to a massive Roxian commander whose scaled face filled the view screen. This is Commander Tsar of the Alliance cruiser Indomitable. Stand down immediately or be destroyed. Chen sighed. I see diplomacy remains difficult. Very well. She nodded to Riley, who activated the second phase of their mission. Deep in Alliance territory, far from the confrontation, a quantum signal propagated through subspace, a beacon that had been waiting for this exact moment. In response, a tear in spacetime opened near the gathering Alliance vessels, and through this rupture emerged 5 human warships, each larger and more imposing than the Defiance. What is this? Tsar demanded, his scales flaring in alarm as the ships appeared on his sensors. This, Commander, Chen replied calmly, is the United Earth Defense Fleet. For 50 years, we've prepared for this day, the day humanity reclaims its place among the stars. The new arrivals took up formation around the Defiance, their advanced hulls gleaming in the starlight. Leading them was the UES Prometheus, Earth's first true battleship, commanded by Admiral Helena Varga. "This is Admiral Varga," a new voice announced over the channel. "The quarantine of Earth is hereby declared null and void. We have come to establish diplomatic relations with the Galactic Alliance, peacefully if possible, by other means if necessary." The Alliance commanders found themselves suddenly outmatched. The human vessels displayed technology that should have been centuries beyond their capability, a stark demonstration of how humanity had used its isolation to accelerate its development. "This is an act of war," Tsar insisted, though his voice had lost some of its confidence. "No," Chen countered. "This is an act of liberation. The Alliance imprisoned our entire species based on prejudice and fear. We refuse to accept that judgment any longer." As the standoff intensified, a new signal reached both fleets, a priority transmission from the Alliance Council itself. The holographic form of High Counselor Telvax, a Nexari elder of considerable influence, materialized on both human and Alliance bridges. "What is the meaning of this?" Telvax demanded, his four eyes narrowing as he took in the scene. When he recognized humans, his skin paled dramatically. "How did you breach containment?" Admiral Varga stepped forward. "High Counselor, the containment was unjust from the beginning. We've come to negotiate its permanent end." "Impossible," Telvax insisted. "The Council's decision was unanimous. Humanity represents an unacceptable risk to galactic stability." "And yet," Chen interjected, "you fail to consider that isolating a species known for its adaptability and determination might have consequences. We've spent 50 years preparing for this moment, advancing our technology, studying the barrier around our system, and learning about the Alliance through the ships you sent to monitor us." The High Counselor's expression shifted subtly, a flicker of uncertainty crossing his alien features. "What do you want?" "What we've always wanted," Admiral Varga replied. "The freedom to explore the stars, to trade with other civilizations, to be judged by our actions rather than your fears." A tense silence followed as Telvax appeared to consult with others off-screen. Finally, he spoke again. "Your presence here proves the Council was right to fear human advancement. In mere decades, you've developed technology that took other species centuries. Perhaps," Chen suggested, "that is precisely why you should ally with us rather than fear us. Imagine what humanity could contribute to the Alliance if given the chance." As the diplomatic exchange continued, Commander Threll studied the human vessels with growing fascination. The Sentinel systems were slowly coming back online as the drone swarm maintained position, but eased its energy drain. Something about the humans' technology struck him as familiar, yet impossibly advanced. "High Counselor," Threll interrupted unexpectedly. "Request permission to speak." Telvax nodded reluctantly. "The human vessels," Threll continued, "their technology. It bears similarities to the precursor artifacts we've discovered throughout the galaxy." A ripple of reaction passed through both fleets. The precursors were a mysterious ancient civilization that had vanished thousands of years ago, leaving behind technologies that even the most advanced Alliance species could barely comprehend. "Explain, Commander," Telvax demanded. "The energy signatures, the way their shields function. It's consistent with precursor principles, but implemented, refined, as if they've understood what we've merely cataloged." Chen and Varga exchanged glances. This was unexpected. Their breakthrough technologies had indeed been partially inspired by artifacts discovered on Earth and Mars, remnants of ancient visitations that humanity had kept secret even before the quarantine. "Is this true?" Telvax asked, addressing Admiral Varga directly. The Admiral straightened. "We discovered precursor artifacts in our system long before we made contact with the Alliance. Without your interference, we studied them, learned from them, and ultimately understood principles your scientists are still struggling to grasp." "Impossible," whispered Telvax, but his denial lacked conviction. High Counselor, Chen said, seizing the moment. This is why the quarantine was always doomed to fail. Humanity doesn't just adapt, we understand. Where other species see mysteries, we see puzzles to be solved. Our rapid advancement isn't a threat. It's a gift we're offering to share. The revelation sent shockwaves through the Alliance Command. The quarantine had been intended to contain a potentially dangerous species, but instead, it had created the very scenario they feared most. A technologically advanced human civilization with every reason to resent the Alliance. After a long pause, Telvax spoke again. I am authorized to offer a temporary suspension of the containment protocol, pending a full council hearing on the matter. You will be permitted to send representatives to present your case. Admiral Varga's expression hardened. That's not good enough, Counselor. The quarantine ends now, permanently. We will send representatives to discuss the terms of Earth's relationship with the Alliance as equals, not as supplicants seeking permission to exist beyond our own star. You are in no position to make demands, Telvax replied, though his tone suggested otherwise. Aren't we? Chen challenged, gesturing to the incapacitated Sentinel and the human fleet that now outnumbered the Alliance vessels. We could have launched an offensive against the containment fleet years ago. Instead, we chose this approach. A demonstration followed by an offer of diplomacy. That should tell you something about our intentions. The standoff lasted several tense moments before Telvax finally inclined his head slightly. Very well. The Council will meet in emergency session. Your representatives will be heard. Until then, a provisional lifting of the quarantine is authorized. As the transmission ended, a cautious relief spread through the human fleet. It wasn't victory, not yet, but it was the beginning of a new chapter for humanity among the stars. Well played, Captain. Admiral Varga's voice came through Chen's private channel. The Defiance performed exactly as needed. Chen allowed herself a small smile. Thank you, Admiral. Though I suspect the hard part is just beginning. Diplomacy may prove more challenging than breaking the blockade. Undoubtedly, Varga agreed. But after 50 years of preparation, I think humanity is ready for the challenge. As the human and Alliance fleets maintained their uneasy formation, Captain Chen gazed out at the stars that had been denied to her people for so long. The quarantine had been meant to contain humanity, to limit their potential for disruption. Instead, it had focused Earth's collective genius on a single goal, breaking free. Now, with that goal achieved, a galaxy of possibilities lay before them. Humanity had proven itself too innovative, too determined to be caged. Whatever the Alliance Council decided, one thing was certain. The species that had climbed from stone tools to starships in the blink of cosmic time would not be denied its destiny among the stars. In the silence of her ready room, Chen picked up a small holographic projector and activated it. An image of Earth appeared, beautiful, blue, and no longer alone in the universe. We're coming home, she whispered to the image. And we're bringing the galaxy with us.